Okay. And we'll get around there and put that piston up in there now. Well, maybe we should put them shims and them bearings right there first. I drag up a chair and I just got them shims laid up in there for safekeeping. Now let's drag them out and put the right amount in there and tighten everything up. I will put some sealer, some of that Permatex there on the back side of that because they ain't got no gasket back there. So we'll go ahead and set this crankshaft tight with them shims on both sides. Well, I'll show something to you. May be of interest if you're working on one of these old McCormick-Deering-engines. I was scraping these bearings for a reinstall on that Munyon engine, and I'll bring something to your attention. It might be important. When there was some rust on the engine that had this set of bearings in it, with some rust on the crankshaft right there on that outer edge, and it embedded itself into this babbitt bearing here. So, and this is the way they look originally. With this hard, there's a hard coating on there. Already scraped that one right there. But what got these scrapers out is that's pretty hard right there. And let's see, can I get it? Oh yeah, 64 Impala sent me that scraper right there. That's for a big bearing right there, but that's a nice one. Yeah. Thank you, 64 Impala. And I do have a bearing big enough to use that on over. Needs to be scraped. But, and this is one of them three-cornered right there. And I was thinking it might work too when it does. So, that worked real good. Well, that was worth getting out of there. The scraper. But what I find, I'll give it a try here. Let's see. Yeah, I got a stone here. Oh yeah, y'all see that? Y'all see that babbitt roll up off of that dark colored embedded? That's iron embedded babbitt. And come off the crankshaft. Other contaminants and such. Oh yeah. That's the way you scrape a bearing right there. But see the problem? It's the contour. It's hard to find. Well, it ain't either. You just have to find that sweet spot. Well, that's quite good. I'm impressed with that. I'm impressed with this scraper. Yeah. But to match the pattern that I've already scraped the other half, I'm going to show you something here. What I find to be a real good scraper for a smaller diameter inside bearing is one of these X-Acto knives with one of them half-round blades, and I took that to the grindstone over there, and then I worked on this. That's a little stone right there. And if you'll put an edge on there, let's see what we got. There it is. So you can put that square basket weave pattern in there, when you find that, when you get that thing, when you get it, it's not right on that side. Oh yeah, see that? That's really pretty. That's a nice bearing half. That's the top half right there with the grease fitting goes in the top. Don't get them upside down because the bottom ain't got no hole in it. This is top and bottom. That's match set. And we'll do 2 more now. The reason for this is I'm not sure we can see it, and I had to get back here and turn the light off so I didn't have too much shadow. Onto the bearing. I ain't no need to be scraping on it no more. But, and you can occasionally see some embedded particles, like right there, something. I'll get it out, but if there's a divot, I'll leave the divot. Once we get these onto the engine, well, actually, I'll do it here on the workbench with a coarse file, run across there and take down any high places on the front of these. And these here ain't too bad. I may have did them, but some of them. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, see that's quite a lot of lip right there. If you put that against a different flywheel where that was bigger, then you'll have a false reading on the get-go, or there's some of them's really bad. Worse than others. So we'll face them up true and level with the crankshaft. But we still have some scraping to do. See right there, that was something that was embedded in that metal right there, like some sand particles, a group of them. And when you come to that, you can take a little bit of liberty and get that out, but you don't want to make no egg shape out of this bearing. Oval, you want it to be round when you get done, at least half of it. But you're only taking you're not taking a large amount off here. The least amount you can take off and get that bright. Then I usually like to leave a little, whatever the pattern starts off being. Like this section right here will set the pattern for the rest of the bearings. Yeah, at least this one. But the reasoning behind taking an engine apart that you bought at an auction sale that sat out there in the barn for 3 or 4 years, after have been on the show circuit for 3 or 4 years, repaired by, this is the reason when you pay your hard-earned money for that engine and you get it home that you take it apart and fix what's wrong with it. You say, well, if it runs, ain't nothing wrong with it. And that's that kind of thinking. But then this right here turns up. This is the problem with that kind of thinking, is get it home and start it up. Get it home, start it up. You're actually damaging the engine sometimes more than is repairable, because these bearings came out of I believe that engine, and these, this was an engine, this was an engine, and this here was another engine. So in all 3 of these engines, had I started these engines up before taking them apart, I would have surely ruined the crankshafts. simply because of how bad the bearings is inside. And a couple of these was, you know, that don't look too bad, but it's not good by no means. And well, you can see the sand in there. So it's quite advisable to take these engines apart and clean them up and put them back together. It's just a little time, and your engine will run better. You'll learn something along the way, and this bearing scraping here is a necessity. You can see some little shiny spots right there. That's metal that's embedded in this babbitt. And with this scraping, you can see them sometimes come away from there. But if we're on the camera, and you just find a rhythm that, and you do need you need an edge. You will soon find out what you need. I'll show you. It was getting dull, I think. Sharp, but controllable. Oh yeah, see that? So, and it's the grit that's embedded in this that dulls your tool so quickly. And with the radius on this scraper, I can control where I want to put that little shaving at, and end up with that nice basket weave pattern. See that gray color on that bearing in there is hardened. That's hardened to metal. It's quite hard to break through that. So yeah, I'll turn those in for. I will wash them up in some solvent and we'll go ahead and put them in that engine right